The landscape of Vietnam is a testimony to 20th century history, colonization, independence, war, and its posterior communist regime. All scars that mark the evolution of a country, now in the 21st century, affronting the issues of the globalizing world. During the past several years, after a hesitant opening to free market economy, the country has been experiencing an economic boom without precedent. The question is whether or not this economic development is being accompanied by social transformation. With its 90 million inhabitants and streets and fields teeming with an unstoppable and roaring energy, where is this country going and where does it want to go?
Vietnam ha avanzado de manera espectacular en su desarrollo socioeconómico con porcentajes de desarrollo económico del 8, del 9% anualmente. El año pasado, a causa de la crisis internacional, pues ha sido un poco menor, ha estado en el 6%, pero con todo Vietnam continúa creciendo. Ese desarrollo socioeconómico se vertebra a través de un enfoque primordial, que es la inclusión social. Todo se hace a través de inclusión social. Eso explica que el desarrollo económico haya sido de cierta calidad y no solamente de cierta cantidad.
El primer indicador ahí es claro, la reducción de la pobreza. Se ha pasado de una situación cercana al 60% de la población por debajo del umbral de la pobreza a una situación actual en la que estamos cercanos al 16-17%. Eso, por supuesto, es muy importante. El cambio es abismal, digamos. Ese cambio es fruto de esas medidas de dinamismo económico que fueron fomentadas por el gobierno.
This general view would be incomplete without analyzing the country's economic and social development from the point of view of gender. How has this development affected men and women? Have women gained anything with this change? Do they earn more? Do they have more freedom? Often the speed of this economic change prevents us from noticing the necessities of those left behind. Amidst this economic euphoria, it's crucial to listen to the voices of women, so that those in charge bear in mind their necessities. Nevertheless, institutional representation of women is low.
We need to ensure that to gain equality, women need to have equal access and equal representation. I also think, as we discussed earlier, the issue of son preference means that there are some inherent discriminations since from the very beginning of life that girls face. But I also think that we need to start looking at mainstreaming gender issues across other areas as well. And I think the employment area is a key area. Women are very heavily concentrated in areas of the informal sector. So in the workplace, you can have legislation that will have an impact. But if people are not in the formal workplace, it's very hard.
This uneven situation provokes several structural problems. First of all, women have an extreme disadvantage with regards to distribution of wealth. And secondly, and equally important, violent behavior against women persists. Now aware of these problems, over the past 4 years the government has established 2 laws: the Law for Gender Equality and the Law for the Prevention of Domestic Violence. Nguyen Thi Duyen has just married and went to live in her husband's home. She lives in a small rural community of the Thanh Hoa province, one of the poorest in Vietnam.
Sáng mai ngủ dậy thì nấu đồ ăn sáng rồi ăn sáng, xong xong rồi em đi làm rồi trưa về khoảng 11 giờ 11 rưỡi về rồi cơm trưa, ăn trưa xong rồi nghỉ trưa xong rồi chiều lại đi làm. Tuy bố mẹ chồng đã cao tuổi nhưng mà cũng rất hiểu nên là sống rất thoải mái. Cái này thì gia đình chồng em thì có mình anh ấy là con trai mà là con út nên là bọn em chưa bao giờ có ý định là ra ở riêng mà ở cùng với bố mẹ, sau bố mẹ già để còn chăm lo cho bố mẹ nữa. Để em cũng ở ngoài thì em cũng chưa gặp tình huống như vậy bao giờ. Nhưng nếu em nghĩ ví dụ như nếu mà có thì như vậy cũng không nên. Tại vì vợ chồng thì tại vì là giữ được hạnh phúc gia đình thì nên hòa giải thì vẫn tốt hơn là giải tán hơn.
The activities carried out in Vietnam by Paz y Desarrollo were developed as part of an agreement between the Spanish Agency for Cooperation and Development, the Union of Vietnamese Women, and other local authorities. These activities are focused into two complementary directions: to promote the economic development of women and to prevent domestic violence. In addition to a nationwide communications campaign, several projects have been set up in the provinces of Thanh Hoa and Nha An in order to affront the problems faced by women in rural areas.
Thì trước tiên thì nói cho cùng đưa dự án về đó thì thấy cũng bà con thấy cũng ngại, vì thấy bữa làm rau mình chưa từng làm mà, cho nên thấy nói về cái dự án của trên đầu tư về đó thì thấy cũng có những cái ấy, nhưng mà sau rồi được đi học rồi đi.
Ai có về quê hợp quê em, thăm cánh đồng dâu xanh mượt lưng đồi.
One of the goals of gender equality is the equal distribution of work between men and women, both inside and outside the home. This means that both men and women can carry out their obligations and enjoy their free time equally, thereby avoiding the double burden of work that women typically take on. Nevertheless, the involvement of husbands in the project has been very uneven. While some men accompanied their wives to the educational workshops, others were rather reluctant.
Những cái vấn đề mà tôi xin nói như thế này. Trong quá trình thực hiện thì đối với chúng tôi thì không cái vướng mắc thì cũng có. Đấy, đặc biệt là đối với nam giới thì đối với công việc trong gia đình, người nam giới thì đối với đơn vị chúng tôi, người nam giới thì người ta không cái lao động phổ thông, người ta không phải là thường xuyên thiếu việc làm.
On the other hand, even if some men accepted that their wives worked on the project, it still did not result in substantial changes in the distribution of domestic labor. This is the result of cultural behavior that has been firmly established in their 1,000-year-old patriarchal mentality. This creates a huge obstacle for most women when trying to conquer their social, economic, and political hurdles. A lot of people still associate responsibility for domestic labor exclusively with women. Thus, if women also work outside the home, their burden of work increases and their freedoms and rights as human beings are limited. Another activity included in the agreement was the creation of a cooperative for the production of rattan artisanal products in the community of Thanh Hoa. This cooperative controls all steps from the cultivation of this plant to the commercialization of the final product. The struggle for gender equality underlies all the activities of the agreement. In collaboration with local authorities, and in addition to economic activities, Paz y Desarrollo has elaborated a number of awareness-raising activities for preventing the most serious problem caused by gender inequality: domestic violence.
To be quite frank, I mean, women don't beat themselves up, huh? So if you're going to address issues of gender equality, you have to work with men. You have to work with men, and men need to work with each other to change the types of behaviour which are causing domestic violence and causing gender equality. And I think one of the big shifts that we have, and I imagine you see it in Spain, we certainly see it in Australia, is that it is actually a very good thing for men to see what benefits they can have from gender equality.
Some of the actions taken to prevent domestic violence included different workshops for men and women, which were organized in 30 communities. All opinions were debated and discussed in order to brainstorm possible solutions to the problem. The workshops were held in the marketplace of each village, a location with a symbolic meaning. The objective, to bring what had always been considered a private issue out into the public arena.
Về cái bạo hành gia đình, mà là một cán bộ công tác tư vấn chung về chăm sóc sức khỏe, cũng như là về cái lĩnh vực bạo hành gia đình. Trong đó cái bạo hành gia đình thì ở đây là trạm y tế và là cán bộ y tế cũng là một cán bộ tư vấn, là thường là tiếp nhận những bệnh nhân, những nạn nhân, mà bệnh nhân là chung còn nạn nhân là trong cái lĩnh vực bạo hành gia đình. Thế thì cảm nhận thấy trước khi chưa triển khai dự án, chưa thực hiện dự án thì cái
Divorce and separation are considered undesirable options and are applied only in cases of serious mistreatment, where the life of the woman is in evident danger.
Những cái chi phù hợp đó để kiếm thức ăn cô ăn hàng ngày, rồi là kiếm ví dụ như chăm nuôi để kiếm những tiền nộp học cho cháu đầu năm. Thứ nhất là ví dụ như chị em mình nhá, về phụ nữ cả đó thì nói sự thật là ví dụ như mà đi làm về nông thôn mà cũng mệt mỏi đúng không? Thì ví dụ người con trai thì cũng nói chung là nếu những hôm mà chị mà đi vắng á, thì anh ấy lại nghỉ ở nhà cũng làm, coi như là làm thay chị, là cũng nấu ăn cho con, rồi là cũng giặt giũ, rồi là rau lợn rau gà.
Tiếng kèn ngân lên làm tay em bối rối.
The case of Nguyen Thi Thuat reflects the attitude of local authorities in an instance of non-physical violence. The husband receives the understanding and advice of the rest of society. He is told to change his attitude. According to the victim, her situation has improved, but how can we be sure this change is going to be permanent? When should we apply more severe measures? The actions of Paz y Desarrollo for the prevention of domestic violence haven't been limited to only rural areas. Set up in collaboration with more than 20 national and international organizations, the communications campaign, I'm a Man, I Prevent Domestic Violence, reached all corners of Vietnam.
Cô không coi tôi ra cái gì cả nhá.
Mình phải gọi giúp đỡ ngay.
Này, có cần chúng tôi giúp gì không? Mình là đàn ông, mình chống bạo lực gia đình.
Con esto estamos tratando de decir, de enviar un mensaje inspiracional a la gente, porque eso sucede muy poco, que la gente actúe cuando sucede. Entonces nosotros estamos enviando el mensaje no de una realidad, sino de cómo deseamos que la realidad sea. Es un mensaje muy inspiracional, muy proactivo, en el que tanto el hombre como la mujer van hacia la casa, la mujer llama a la línea de atención, el hombre toca la puerta.
As soldiers, mothers, managers, and workers, Vietnamese women have been active protagonists in a tumultuous 20th century. It would be quite unfair for this 21st century, so full of promise, to leave them behind. We hope that Vietnamese women will finally find themselves on a one-way road to a better situation, where their rights and liberties are secure, a road free from male violence and a road towards real equality between men and women.
Tiếng kèn ngân lên làm tay em bối rối. Em dệt khăn tiêu mang hình của núi, em dệt áo cưới xe mối tình ta, sợi chỉ cổ tay em còn giữ mãi thắm tình duyên quê.